Hello there, my friends. It's Jen Pitta with By the Shore Stamping. Welcome into another Teach Me Tuesday episode. Today we are highlighting some some retiring products that were just released yesterday. So if you're familiar with the Stampin' Up! World, you know that on June 1st we get a brand new catalog. And as a demonstrator, I got to see that new catalog over the weekend at On Stage. And yesterday they released the retiring list. So now we know what in the current catalog is retiring. We also learned that there is going to be a color revamp in the new catalog, which I'm super excited about. So that means that we're going to have some new color families. A lot of our favorite colors will be staying, but we will be losing a few of our old favorites, but we'll be gaining a whole bunch new colors that are fantastic. You're going to love them. But over the next few weeks, as we approach the new catalog, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the retired stamp sets that we are losing, as well as some of the inks and colors that we may be losing as well. The stamp sets are guaranteed towards the end of May. I think it's the 21st or the 22nd or something like that. The stamp sets and the inks are guaranteed through then. The accessories and whatnot are only while supplies last. So you want to make sure if there's any colors that you want to get those ASAP. And I'm going to share as we go some of those items. So first off, I had to pull out this stamp set called Seaside Shore. If you remember 2 years ago, this one was launched in the annual catalog and it was called the By the Shore Suite. And of course, that means I had to own all parts of it. So I'm a little bit sad that this stamp set is actually retiring. So this one will be gone at the end of May, but I thought we would use it today. So we're going to use that. I'm going to show you actually how to do this card. This card was actually a swap card from one of my team members, my lovely Shore Stampers. Obviously, this is a Celebration stamp set that she used, but I wanted to recreate the card using the Seaside Shore stamp set. That's a mouthful. And I thought I would show you this one first because this was done by Linda Johnson, like I said, one of my team members, and she did this for a swap of ours in January, and I just loved it. Look how cute. Is that not adorable? So it's a really fun folds card, and it's super easy. So I'm going to show you how we did that, and I'm going to show you my version. So like I said, I wanted to use the Seaside Shore stamp set. Oof, that's a tough one. And this is what I created with it. So same concept of the card, but we're just going to use it to create a little scene with that stamp set. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, you're going to need a piece of your base cardstock, which is just 4 1/4 by 11. And then you're also going to need a piece of cardstock, let me remember, yeah, 3 1/4 by 10 is the smaller one, which is going to be the mat for that sliding mechanism there. So not really sliding, but popping mechanism. So that base piece is going to be 3 1/4 by 10. Okay, so first we're going to take our card base and our Stampin' Trimmer. And I'm going to go ahead and score it right in half like I normally would for a card. So it's just right in the middle here. Okay, and then the other measurement is actually going to be 2 3/4. So you could do 2 3/4 and then 5 1/2 like you normally would, or you could just do right in the middle at 5 1/2 and then go back and do the 2 3/4. So that's all we need for that one. For the 10-inch piece, the base piece here, my crumb cake, you're going to do 4 1/2 here for your scoring. And then we're going to go ahead and open up our extender here, and we're going to do 7 1/4. Sorry if I just shook the camera. We're going to do 7 1/4. So that one was 4 1/2 and 7 1/4. All right. So now I can put my trimmer away. That's all we need that for. We're going to go ahead and take the card base. We're going to fold that in half. Like I said, right like we would with any normal card. We're just going to fold that in half. And then we're going to take that other part that we scored and we're going to fold it upwards. So we get this funky looking card base. Okay, so that's what we get. Now with this one, the long panel is up at the top. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this piece down the bottom like so. Okay, so I'm going to fold this down towards me. And I'm just going to go ahead and center this right in the middle of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and take some snail. You want to make sure you do enough to kind of hold that secure. So I'm just going to kind of fill her up and then put it right in the center here. And secure that. Like I said, we're going to fold that towards me, and then we're going to fold this one back. So now we're going to keep this top part folded down on the Calypso Coral, and we're going to fold this up. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take some adhesive again, and we're going to put some at the top here. Make sure you get a lot, because this will be kind of manhandled a bit. And we want to make sure we get that in the middle as well. And then we'll secure that. So now you can see there's the basic mechanism of the card, and that's it. So before we get too far, I'm going to take my Calypso Coral ink on the Calypso Coral base, and I'm just going to take the little starfish from the set, and I'm going to stamp some little starfishies around here, around the edges. Whoops, caught an edge a little bit. We'll do that, and that, and one over here. Okay, that looks good. Perfect. So next up, we're going to go ahead and switch this over, and I'm going to do my 3 panels. So this is the top one, this is the middle one, and then this is the bottom one. And I left part of this to do in front of you, which is going to be tricky because there's one little part here that's a little bit tricky. So let me practice here. I'm going to use, because this is wood mount, I can't exactly see exactly where I'm going. But one of my tricks is I will use the black line either at the bottom of my grid sheet or here in the middle, and just line up my wood stamp right along that line and see how it stamps. So it looks pretty straight here. So I'm going to go ahead. It doesn't go all the way across. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line up the bottom of this stamp with the bottom of the paper, because that way if I do the same thing on the other side, it should be fairly easy to get myself situated the way I want. Okay, and then on this side, I am going to kind of slouch back a little bit so that I can see where the stamp part begins, and then line up the bottom with the bottom of the paper. And look at that. Beautiful, right? Pretty impressive. I'm going to do that again. So that's the bottom piece. I'm going to do that again for the top of this one. I'm going to flip it upside down actually because it's easier for me to do. It's funny that I just turned that cardstock around even though there is no upper, there's no bottom and top right now, but I'm like, oh, I'm going to turn it upside down. There's nothing on it, so I do that. Do you do that too? Like I have to, if I have a blank piece of paper and then like I'm using adhesive, but I flip it over to use the adhesive even though there's nothing here, like it's just, I don't know, it's a mind thing, whatever. Hopefully I'm not alone in that you do that too. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one. This one is more important to get lined up right because I don't have anything covering the seam, but we'll see how I do. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm lining up the bottom of the stamp with the bottom of the paper, and I'm just slouching down a little bit so I can see where the stamp starts. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp. Not bad, not bad. All right, so that's the top of my panel. Now I'm going to take the Marina Mist. So this is one of the colors that is disappearing. So this is one of the retiring colors. This will no longer be in any color family in the new catalog. So if this is a color you love, you want to make sure you get that now, and also the couple of ink refills. So you'll be good for quite some time. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stamp some little fishies here. And I kept these the same color. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp a blue one here. And then I'm going to take the bigger guy here and stamp him as well. We'll put him over a little bit. And then I'm going to take my Calypso Coral ink again and the other fish that goes the other direction. And I'm going to kind of stamp him in the middle here. Perfect. Then I'm going to take the little bubbles and I'm just going to add some bubbles. We'll add some bubbles above these two fishies. And then I'm just going to put some around randomly so it looks like they're underwater. Okay. So there is that part. That's most of the front panel. I did also stamp the Ahoy there from that stamp set, and I fussy cut it. And through the magic of TV, that is already done. And I'm just going to take my mini dimensionals. These things are awesome, guys. And guess what? They're in the new catalog too. So we're going to go ahead and put those down too. And I'm just going to attach that up in this corner here. So we'll take off the backing. Whoops, make sure it's fully stuck down before you try and peel off the backing. And then we will put it on the front of the card. And I'm going to kind of put it on a little bit of an angle. Okay, so then this is just going to get taped down to that top panel. So let me show you what I mean. So we'll take this and we're just going to center it right in the middle of this panel. Okay. And this will be, let me think for a second. It would be 4, and I forget what the measurement of it is. I lied. It's 4 1/4 by 3. So there's that piece, okay? Next up, we're going to do the middle piece, which is this one. I'm going to take the coral, and I'm going to stamp off on this one because the fish is not stamped off, but I'm going to stamp off on this. So I'm going to put one here, and then I'll stamp off again and just put it a little bit lower right next to it. Then we're going to use the little pink fish, the Calypso coral fish, and we're going to stick him right in here, full strength. Okay, and then one little part of this little blue guy, and we'll put him down just a little bit here. We'll add some bubbles above him. We'll add a few other bubbles here. A couple over here, and then maybe just a few like that. Okay, so that's going to go in the middle. So let me go ahead, tape that down. Okay. Now, in the new catalog as well, there are going to be some new ink pads too. So because they're renovating the color families and our mold for our ink pads, this was interesting, I did not know this, but the molds for our ink pad are expiring. So I guess you can only use a mold for so long and then it expires. So they're about to expire anyway. So they decided to lump that together with the new colors and the new color revamp so that we're getting new ink pads as well. They're going to be a little bit easier, more intuitive for you to open. They are changing the formula as well. Some of the lighter colors, and sometimes when you get a brand new ink pad now, if you tap on them too much, they bubble and it kind of makes a weird image. So, or it doesn't make a consistent image, I should say. So they're changing that and putting some defoamer into the ink. So that will be a new formula for our ink pads as well in June. However, the colors that you already have, you'll be able to use the new ink refills in the existing ink pads that you have. It won't damage them, and you'll be able to use old ink pads on the new, or old ink refills on the new pads as well. So they'll be completely interchangeable, other than the archival inks, which you never want to mix anyway. So that's not really a change. So lots of exciting things coming. I'm very, very excited about the new catalog. So much good stuff. All right, next up, we're going to go ahead and stamp ourselves a little starfish here, and we're going to use the punch to punch that out, and I think I put that away, but it's pretty handy, I think. There it is. It's just a 1-inch punch, so we're going to go ahead and punch that out. And I did ink the edges of this one, so I just took a sponge and the crumb cake ink. I love these colors together for like a beachy card. So again, it's Calypso Coral, Crumb Cake, and that Marina Mist, which is retiring. So make sure you get your hands on cardstock and ink and refills if you'd like that, because that will be disappearing. Okay. Oh, I just put this away and I need it. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and take the Hope Your Day Goes Swimmingly. And we're going to go ahead. This is going to go kind of down in this little corner. So I want to stamp this over kind of to the left here. I'm sorry, to my right. My other left. Which actually I think it's backwards on the camera anyway, so I probably looked like I was correct. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put this little guy down. And I'm going to keep it flat. Even though I would love to pop this, I'm going to keep it flat just because it's inside the card. And I don't want to add too much extra bulk. So now all I have to do is tape this part down. then we'll just go ahead and pull our card over here and put that in the middle. And there you have your cute little card. Now, obviously, it's kind of popping up right now, but once you put it in an envelope and kind of, once it kind of settles and this fold kind of gets somewhere, it will kind of settle itself in, especially if you mail it, because that will kind of keep it flat for a really long time. And then when they open it, it will be a cute little surprise. A really super fun card, very easy to do, and lots of fun products and colors on it that you may want to get your hands on before it's too late. If you are not on my email list and you didn't get the retired list and you'd like one, please feel free to email me at jenpitta at comcast.net, or better yet, you can head on over to buytheshorestamping.com, and on the right hand column there is a link for you to sign up for my email list, and you could do that, and you'll get these weekly videos emailed direct to your inbox, as well as some information and timely tips and tricks as we go along, so you don't miss anything in the Stampin' Up! World, because we don't want that to happen. And don't forget, hopefully later in the week, I will be able to post a supply list for my next live workshop is on Wednesday, April 25th. I'll be going live in my Facebook group, By the Shore Stamping on Facebook, and we'll be doing 3 cards using the Lemon Zest Suite. And if you purchase before I think it's the 16th of April, I will go ahead and send those card kits out to you, so you can go ahead and create with me using that stamp set. So hopefully you'll join me for that. All right, that is it for today. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe. It makes my day. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.